So Ireland 32, England 18, massive win for Ireland, and boy, they deserve it. What an exhibition of international execution at the highest level. England, wasteful, certainly gave away a lot of penalties. I mean, they had plenty of ball, but they didn't do enough with it. Ireland will be absolutely delighted. England pretty devastated and will certainly be asking a few questions of themselves. So anyway, at the start of the game, it was pretty tight. It was a good start. Both teams' defence were looking really good. They were disruptive. They were hitting hard. They were contesting the breakdown, trying to make a mess of the opposition. Really good contest in the line-out. And to be fair, that's one area England actually did pretty well. The line-out, they were trying to keep it away from Ireland, trying to vary it up, and they did that pretty well. Maybe one of the few areas they did come out with some credit. On 5 minutes, Ireland definitely leave the ball in that scrum for a long time, trying to test out Mako Vunipola in particular. But at this early stage, they hold solid and England actually push Aki into touch. But then Daly makes a mistake, puts the kick straight into touch, so mucks up that position. And England really mucked up a lot of good positions. Against France, they were really good, remember. I did say I thought England mucked up a good 3 or 4 good attacking positions against France, actually, even though they managed to execute enough. Against Ireland, they mucked up pretty much every decent position they came into. Atoje gets a nice turnover penalty. Lawrence goes a bit high in the carry, gets held up on 6 minutes, but they get a penalty advantage and they go in the lead 3-0, and that's the only time they're going to be in the lead in this match. Anyway, it's a good aerial contest. Farrell makes a good kick to space. They get a penalty. England get a 5-metre line out. They get held up. And at this point, England are playing pretty well. Good line-out variation. 5-metre scrum. But then England get free kicked. And my goodness me, England got pinged a lot in the scrum. I think they were a bit too eager or they were a bit too worried. Mako under pressure again. It's something England are going to have to think about going forward. That loose head side's been a little weak in this Six Nations. Genge came on and did better than Mako. I think he came on pretty early, half-time-ish. But Mako definitely under pressure. We've seen it before, World Cup final most notably. Without Marler in the squad, it is an issue. It is a weakness. Ireland knew it and they really went for it, and they got their rewards as the game went on. On 14 minutes, impressive rush defence from Henshaw. My goodness me, he's been good this championship. Holds up Ford, they get a turnover, and they do deliberately target Ford, run at him, try and hold him up, etc. As most teams do, but they actually get a lot of change out of that. Luke Cowan-Dickie infringes at the ruck a minute later, and it's a penalty 3-3. Sexton was pretty much perfect off the tee. And at this point, I make a note, really good physical contest, good tactical contest, very close. Ford just after that puts up a huge spiral bomb, causes absolute havoc in the 22. England get a good line-up. Ireland managed to spoil this one. And lots of variations from England, lots of ball movement, but Ireland's defence is up to the challenge. Then we get a try, first try from Earls, brilliant try, very clever line out, throwing all the way to the back, and then a little pop back inside. No, it's proper millimetre stuff. This execution has to be spot on, and Ireland nail it. Earls turns Johnny May inside out, not a lot he could do to be fair, great finish, nice conversion, 10-3. And from then on, England do get a penalty off them all just later, 10-6. But, England just don't look like getting back in the game from then on. For England, Tom Curry I thought he was really good, actually. He's been good all championship. Really good on that restart, putting a lot of pressure on. But one of the few guys to come out with credit. Mako on 32 minutes, getting pinged at the scrum again. Good attack and D from both sides. But the difference is the execution for sure for Ireland, a lot cleaner. Then Sexton goes to the bombs Daly, and Daly panics. Definitely panics under the pressure of Keenan. Daly jumps far too early, knows he doesn't need to, but just panics under that pressure. Keenan wins the ball back. Then some really good phases from Ireland, and my goodness me, this is the first time I've seen the Irish attack offload, Very quick ball. Murray was excellent. I called for Murray to get back in that team straight away. My goodness me, he made a difference. England couldn't get anywhere near the charge downs on his kick like they have done against other teams. Conan sniffs a super sharp try after some good phases. Great finish. 20 points to 6. Of course, they get the conversion. And, at this point, it looks like it's almost out of sight. At half-time, 20 points to 6. England, again, just before half-time, get in another good position. But Farrell does a double roll, and you can't get away with double rolls these days. Even when no one's contesting the ball, you just can't do it. They get pinged. In this first half, if they'd been a bit cleaner, this could have been a real tight game at half-time and an absolute cracker. But Ireland, just a masterclass in execution. England starting to creak. So after half-time, England need to come out of the blocks firing. And to be fair to Elliot Daly on 41 minutes, brilliant kick chase. He makes some mistakes. He does some really good stuff. I'm very on the fence about him in this game. Daly does a good chase, smashes Keith Earls. England get to a 5-metre line out from a penalty from that ruck. But again, obstruction in the line out. England just killing themselves with terrible execution in these key areas. And then penalties, times 2 penalties. Toto gives away one. He went back to his penalty ways, unfortunately. So they muck up that chance. Then England are on the front foot again. They're kicking quite well, but the contest in the air isn't there. And then Tyg Byrne comes in with a brilliant turnover. My goodness me, he played well. Back row or second row, been absolutely on fire. And I tell you what, this game, sure, it doesn't decide who wins the Six Nations, but my goodness me, it's going to decide, I think, who goes on British and Irish Lions tours with those heads-to-head. It definitely made up my mind over a certain players. I mean, please pop in the comments below what you think about that. But on 48 minutes, what an attacking phase from Ireland. They don't actually get the try from it, but my goodness me, it was a line out, goes right, I think. They hit into midfield. I'm actually watching them rewind. I actually, for some reason, I know they're going to rewind to the left just by the way they line up. And they do. They fizz it back to the left. Henderson makes a great break. And they offload. What a difference that makes. We've been saying about Ireland for ages now. They go through good phases, good ball retention, but unless you offload, you're not going to break teams down. And they did in this one and throughout the game. Then Sexton puts in a cross-field kick. It looks a little long, but Keith Earls, brilliant finish. But there was a knock-on further back in the phases, so it is no try. England escape. But anyway, it's a penalty advantage, and of course Sexton converts 23-6. It's just getting further and further away. Eddie's getting annoyed. He's emptying the bench pretty early. Guys came on at half-time. They came on at 50 minutes. Definite questions over a lot of the England players. On 51 minutes, again, Tyg Byrne, brilliant play, hold-up tackle. Ireland, we know, have been good at the historically at the choke tackle, and they did it fantastically well in this game against all sorts of players. England's line out and maul, very good. Okay, they're one tick. They mauled really well on 52 minutes. They've mauled quite well all game. They get a try off it as well later on. But they're still making mistakes. 54 minutes. Billy hits a half-decent line, but gets the ball just taken out of his hands. The old candy off a baby rip from Van der Fleer. Completely embarrassing. I mean, Billy, if he hasn't got his carrying, then he hasn't got a lot. He's just playing slow, unfortunately. He's been playing okay, but he's just not as dynamic as all these other guys out here. They even said it in commentary. He's just walking around. Just not quick enough at the moment. There we go. What more can you say? On 55 minutes, more England errors every time they're in a decent position. And on 59 minutes, poor old Ben Robson has to go to 10. And actually does really well. Probably the best of England's 10s in that match. But anyway, it's a bit of a mess. 60 minutes. There's about 5 minutes worth of scrummaging. Really boring. England are desperate to get one over Ireland on the scrum. I think it's a bit of a macho thing there. Genge really wants to win a scrum penalty. You can see them getting annoyed. And it's actually Ireland that win the scrum penalty because they need to be realistic. Ireland have a better scrummaging front row, better scrummaging props than England do in this match. And they should have been trying to get the ball out quick and avoid scrums. So anyway, then little bit controversial. Aki goes a bit high on Billy. I think it is a red card, but it is a bit tough because I think Billy's dipping. Aki's technique isn't that bad. But I've been saying again and again, if you choose to stand up in the tackle, you're running the risk. And unfortunately, Aki came out on the wrong side there. He goes, red card, but 20 points down, 17 minutes to go. Surely it's too much. Or is it? Nice maul. Like I said, England's maul was their one good point. George breaks off the front, 2-on-1 to Youngs. Good try. Don't get the conversion, though, so it is 26-11. Can they get back into this game? No, they can't. Ben Earl on the wrong side gives away another penalty, 29-11. Just keep chipping away. England more penalties, 32-11. That's on 70 minutes. Now, the last 10 minutes is very messy for Ireland, to be fair. It's almost irrelevant because the game is gone. But anyway, Ireland, I think on my count, give away 4, 5, maybe 6 penalties in a row. A yellow card for Murray. England go through a scrum 5. And then it's a really nice try for May. Ball away to Robson. They've got extra men because Ireland have got 13 men on the pitch. Really good long pass from Robson, right in front of May. I think Keenan maybe overreads the pass a bit, and May goes in. And a nice drop goal conversion from Daly to finish on, just to take a little bit of embarrassment out of the match maybe. 32-18, Ireland smashed England. Let's say it how it is. They smashed England. Brilliant execution, some fantastic individual performances. Am I disappointed with this as an England fan? Well, yes, but I think they needed this sort of result again just to show them they're not good enough. Some of their players aren't up to the standard of international play at the moment. They're not up to speed. They struggled in the scrum. Their discipline, some of the speed around the park from some of the players. Ireland really did a bit of a masterclass on them in that respect. Anyway, guys, love to know what you guys think about that match, and I will catch you later.